Hi, I'm Rebecca, and this is Steph, and we are with Inland Empire Couples Counseling. And we are talking today about what's different about doing online couples counseling sessions. And I invited Steph because she has experience doing couples counseling both in person and online. And so we're going to have a little discussion today about pros and cons and just what's different about doing your couple sessions online. So where are we starting, Steph?
So the first thing that came to my mind was how much of a time saver doing counseling online can be. You don't have to commute anywhere. You get to either stay home or wherever it is that you meet online with your therapist. But that's a big one, I think, is just to be able to, and also the flexibility in scheduling. So if you don't have to account for commute time and you can just, sign on whenever that time is and not worry about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of feedback from people this last year since we've been doing more online sessions about how much easier it is to schedule or, oh, actually we can make that work because that's right after this other thing or right before something else and you don't have to factor in any drive time. And so that could be a real benefit in making the sessions more available to you.
Yeah. And then too, leaving, I think after a hard session, it could be, hard to get back in the car and drive together somewhere or something, right? And if you're at home or something, you're already in a comfortable place where you can just go take that break or go have some alone time or whatever it is that you need instead of waiting to go do that thing. Not letting it fester as long as it would if you did have to drive.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And doing your sessions online, you were telling me before there's also a comfort element to that. Say more about that.
Yeah. So I believe that coming to therapy is something that needs a lot of bravery and courage. And I think for people, it can be a lot more comfortable to just sign on to the computer rather than taking all those other steps and showing up somewhere and being face to face with somebody, worrying about running into somebody that they might know on the way there, having to explain that. So I think it can just be easier to take those first steps, especially those first steps, because it can be a scary thing to do. And if you're just signing on from the comfort of your own home, it can make that a little bit easier. And then also just being in your own home in a familiar place, it can allow you to open up a little bit more and maybe share more than you would if you were face to face with somebody.
Right. I know when people come into the office, sometimes there can be a benefit to that in that it is a separate space from where you normally try to problem solve or where you normally have conversations, and there can be some benefit to that. And also, we've noticed over the last year that often we see people sort of more at home, obviously, but there's like some comfort and ease in being in your own space and right there at your dining table or in your living room or your bedroom or wherever, like where you actually live. And it can kind of shorten the distance between feeling like therapy is a separate space and that what happens there doesn't translate to home because you're doing your therapy in your home. Yeah. And so it might be easier to get into the things that matter or maybe remember the things that you talked about because there's even a physical muscle memory of like, we were sitting right here on this couch in the therapy session when we had that conversation, maybe we could do it again.
Yeah.
And that could be really comfortable for people.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And then the last thing that I thought of was just the ease of telehealth, or I think it's a lot of platforms have made it really easy to sign documents and upload them to whatever platform that is that the therapist is using. And then it seems like most platforms are really similar in just typing in your name, waiting in the virtual waiting room, and for your therapist to start the session. So I think that's pretty cool that it doesn't take a bunch of extra learning of how to use this certain website to be able to just sign on and wait for your therapist. And
Right. You get a link for your session. With a couple of clicks, you sign the consent forms. We don't have to worry. You can even get appointment reminders emailed and texted to you. Like it's all pretty simple and easy to access your online couples counseling session once you've decided that you want to work with us. We try to make that pretty straightforward for you. And then I think it's worth mentioning, as we're talking about all of these great benefits of doing counseling sessions online, that sometimes it is better to do things in person. So when do we think that that is? Like in some situations, maybe it's better to be online. Sometimes maybe it's just kind of even, but then there are some times when we would recommend in-person sessions.
Yeah, so I would think in-person sessions would be better if a client was maybe prone to flashbacks or were in some kind of crisis that they just needed a little bit more help calming down, and that might be easier to do in person.
Right. If you get into it with your partner and the arguments escalate really quickly and you have a hard time taking a break from each other, if you're the kind of people where somebody always has to have the last word and you have a hard time having the self-discipline to step away, your therapist's ability to help you stop that cycle might be limited in an online format like this. And if that's your pattern, coming in person might be more beneficial. Like you said, if they one or both partners has a history of trauma and flashbacks, again, same thing, we may be able to help comfort you and reduce that intensity and calm that down a little better in person. Not that it can't be done online, but that these are the things to consider. And we trust that you're going to make the decisions that are best for you, and want you to know what is available for you and the benefits of the various ways of accessing therapy. And any last thoughts on this, Steph, about what's different? I'm going to put you on the spot. Just as a therapist, how have you noticed things being different doing the sessions in person or online rather, versus in person?
Differences I've noticed personally. Consistency came up. I think it's easier for people to be more consistent online because of all these things that we just talked about, right? So that's been a big thing, and with consistency comes progress, and so I think that's been a really cool thing to watch my clients grow from coming every week and telling me about those wins and all that. It makes it a lot easier to do it.
Perfect. I love that was the thing that came up. It's awesome. If anyone is interested in doing your online couples counseling sessions with Inland Empire Couples Counseling, we are available for online sessions for people in California. And you can find out more about us or set up a consultation at iecouplescounseling.com. Thank you.